Others, can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, sure. So now, as I was explaining about the different types of hackers, there's a black hat hacker who's the villain of the story. He performs hacking for his own benefit. On the other hand, the hero of the story or the protagonist is your white hat hacker who performs hacking to increase the security of the organization. And then there's a gray hat hacker who is neither of the cases. He performs hacking without permission, but again, he reports the vulnerabilities back to the organization so that he can get a bounty back. Okay. Now, all these three types of hackers follow a set of procedures which are known as hacking cycle or cyber kill chain. Okay. Now these are the set of procedures that we'll be discussing in our course as well. Okay. The reason why we follow these procedures is so that we can perform hacking in a systematic fashion, and the process or the probability of us getting the access to information devices increases by a huge number. Okay. Now again, various organizations categorize these steps into various numbers, but if we had to summarize it up, there are 5 important steps. Okay. And the first step is visible on the screen. It is known as information gathering. Okay, it can also be called as reconnaissance or footprinting. Second step is known as scanning. It can also be called as enumeration. Third step is gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. And the last step is known as reporting or clearing traces. Okay, the reason why there's an or in the last step is because so that I can show you that is where it makes all the difference between a black hat hacker and a white hat hacker. Okay, if you're a white hat hacker, you try to report all the steps that you have taken until now from step 1 to step 5 and then submit it to your management. If you're a black hat hacker, obviously you'll not report these steps, but you'll try to remove all the evidences, okay, like delete the system files or the log files, okay, which is nothing but clearing traces. Now let's briefly discuss about each of these steps so that you can understand what is specifically taught in the CEH course. Okay, so the first step, information gathering, as the name itself suggests. Let's talk about this step a bit in brief. Okay, information gathering is a very crucial step. The more information you gain, the more easier it gets for the attacker to penetrate into the target system. Okay, now when we talk about information gathering, we try to gain as much information possible passively. What I mean by passively is that you get all this information from third-party sources. You do not make any active connections with the target. You do not send any packets to the target. You do not log into the target's web servers or anything. You get all the information about the target from other third-party websites or resources. Now you could be asking, Shoaib, what kind of information are we actually trying to gain in this process? This is the information as follows. Okay, so if you have a specific target like www.flipkart.com or xyz.com, you first try to get the IP addresses of flipkart.com servers or the range of IP addresses used by their different servers. Then you get the host records, which show you when was Flipkart established, when was the domain updated last, when it is expiring, what are the domain name servers of it, what are the DNS records, and employee details of Flipkart, like the employee contact numbers, their email addresses, their publicly disclosed usernames and passwords, and then finally the domain names of Flipkart and the subdomains of Flipkart, and then the operating systems used by the Flipkart servers. All this information is tried to be gained from the information gathering step. Okay, and interestingly, all this information is readily available for any hacker to get it from the internet. Okay, the only thing is you need the correct resources, and once you have the correct resources from where you can get this information, the job becomes very easy. Okay, after information gathering, the next step is scanning. So when we talk about scanning, scanning is a next step of after information gathering where you make active connections with the target. In information gathering, we were just trying to make passive connections. In scanning, we make active connections. What I mean by that is we'll be using very important tools such as Nmap and Zenmap and Nessus, where we try to perform scanning. We try to send packets to our target organization systems. And from those, we try to get responses with information, with juicy information. Again, there's the types of scannings available. Just a second, guys. Yeah. So when you talk about different types of scanning, there's network scanning, port scanning, and vulnerability scanning. Now, when we talk about network scanning, in this we'll be using a tool called Nmap, where I'll show you how to scan the whole network for all the devices available in your network. You can scan the alive devices, and then you can port scan to check out what services and what applications are running on those devices. And finally, you can perform vulnerability scan to find the vulnerabilities or the loopholes on those devices, on those services. So we'll be using a very important tool in the scanning part where I have it over here in the browser. As you can see, this is a website called Nessus. Okay, this is an application, a vulnerability scanning application. So let me log into this. Once you log in, you can notice how this tool looks like. So in a real-time scenario in your organization, you use such tools for automated vulnerability scanning. Okay, and these have different scan templates. So I'll be explaining you how to use this tool, how to perform automated scanning in an organization, and get the list of vulnerabilities for all the systems in your organization. Okay, so if I check for scan templates, you can notice over here there are different types of scannings in this. So there's a normal basic scan, basic network scan, and then there's an advanced scan, and then there's a dynamic scan. So this can be used to perform various different types of scannings. As you can see, there's a basic scan, advanced scan, web application scan, malware scan, ransomware scan, lots of different types of scannings used. Okay, so I'll show you practically how to use this tool and how to perform automated scanning in your network and get the list of vulnerabilities and also the manual methods. Okay, after scanning is done, then we go with the next procedure of gaining access, where in gaining access, we try to get access to your target system. Now, this process covers a vast variety of topics, and here's the list of them. So the first topic that we'll be discussing in gaining access is system hacking, where I'll show you how to bypass or crack any Windows operating system password. Now, whether that be Windows 7, 8, 8.1, or Windows 10, I'll show you how to bypass that password or how to even crack that Windows operating system password. And after you crack it, you get access to all the complete system files. After that, there's malware, where malware is nothing but malicious software. And I'll show you how hackers create each of these malicious softwares. So I'll practically show you how you can create your own viruses, worms, trojans, or spy adware and whatnot. So if you install a Trojan on the target system, you can get the remote connection to that device remotely from anywhere in the world, and you can access that device whenever you want to get information to all that device, the internal system files. Okay. After that, there's Malware Advanced, where I'll show you how to write a keylogger. A keylogger is a spyware which, once installed in the target system, can capture all the keystrokes. So whatever the user types on his keyboard, whether it be usernames or passwords, all can be captured and sent to the attacker's machine remotely via email. So I'll show you how to create your own keylogger using Python 3 programming. After that, I'll teach you about network penetration testing, but I'll show you all the common network day-to-day attacks that happen. Okay, such as MITM attacks, distributed denial of service attacks, or sniffing attacks, and how to hack Wi-Fi routers with WPA or WPA2 passwords, and then social engineering, where I'll show you how hackers can create fake websites. Okay, fake replica pages of login sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and any other phishing site, and how phishing emails are sent, and how attacks happen in real-time scenarios, and how people could lose money through those attacks. Okay. After that, we'll be discussing web application penetration testing, where I'll show you all the common web application vulnerabilities. Okay, such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, broken authentication, file upload vulnerability. These are the common vulnerabilities that exist in websites. And using these same vulnerabilities, attackers try to get access to the backend database servers, okay, or the web servers. After that, we have vulnerability assessment, where I'll show you an important tool called Metasploit framework to try to get access to any information device in your local network. Then finally comes the topic of Android penetration testing, where I'll show you how to hack into any Android phone, whether that be Android 7 or Android 8 or 9 or 10. I'll show you how to bypass Google Play Protect and get access to that Android's internal files. Okay. After gaining access is done, we have maintaining access, where I'll show you how to maintain persistent connections with the target. Okay. So even if the user restarts the system or shuts it down for a while and starts up again, we try to maintain connections so that even if after booting up, we need to maintain that connection to get access to the internal system files. So that is known as maintaining persistent connections. After that, we have the reporting or clearing traces, where in reporting, I'll show you how to generate a systematic report which you can submit it to your management after performing each of these steps. How to generate that report is a very important step, because in a real world scenario, when you work for an organization, everything is worked on the basis of reports. So I'll show you how you can generate your own reports on all the procedures, all the steps that you take. After that, we'll go with clearing traces, where I'll show you how hackers can try to clear all the log system files, okay, in remote access. So all these procedures are discussed in CH. If I've missed out anything, you can ask for this PDF file from DurgaSoft, and this covers the list of all the topics that we'll be discussing. Before we dive into these advanced concepts, we'll also go to a few introductory concepts as well, such as virtualization, basic concepts of networking, Linux and Windows commands. The reason why we need to learn these is because we'll be using a separate operating system called Linux operating system, Kali Linux, and that I'm running it on my Vmware. Vmware is a tool which allows you the capability to install multiple operating systems on your device. So as you can notice over here, I have my Kali system running. So if I log into my Kali, this is a Debian flavored Linux operating system. The reason why we'll be using this is because this comes pre-installed with all the penetration testing tools. So again, don't worry if you're not familiar with Linux operating system. I'm going to teach you all about Linux. I'm going to teach you all about virtualization, all about VMware tool, and all about networking as well, such as IP addresses, DNS, DHCP protocols, what is subnet mask, IPv4, IPv6, public IP, private IP. All the networking concepts are discussed as well. After such concepts are discussed, only then we will proceed with the hacking cycle concepts. Is this clear, guys? Others. Okay, there's someone else as well. Kulbir Saini. Kulbir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, sure. So yeah, that's it for the demo session. This is what I wanted to show you, that these are the topics I'll be discussing in the course. Again, as I've told you, CH is a foundational course for people who are completely new to the cybersecurity domain. So if there's any questions on your end that you want to ask me, we can have a small Q&A session.
So we're not gonna be writing any code for this course? Sorry.
You don't need to write any code or anything separately. There's one topic called Malware Advanced. In that, I'll teach you basics of Python 3 programming to write your own keylogger. Okay. So again, you don't need to learn coding from any other source separately. It's better if you have coding knowledge already. But again, there's no requirement for coding programming language for this specific course.
So in this course, we are just learning how to use the tools, right?
Yeah, how to use the tools and how to also perform manual penetration testing. So there's a lot of vulnerabilities in web applications. I'll show you how to manually check for those vulnerabilities as well. So most of them run with tools, and some of them you would learn the concepts or the logic behind finding vulnerabilities.
Is it some kind of a certification course, this one?
Yeah, CH is a certification course. So after you're done with the course, you can write a certification exam from EC Council, which contains around 125 questions of multiple choice part. And once you pass that with 75%, you get the certification from EC Council for CH, which is valid for a period of 3 years.
Okay, so this course, is it like a basic?
This is from very basic to intermediate level. After this, you have advanced courses as well, such as web application penetration testing. This will focus in-depth concepts on web application vulnerabilities while we're using tools such as Burpsuit Pro, the advanced tools that are used in a real-time organization to perform automated scanning as well as manual pen testing for web applications. This is an advanced course, and this is covering from basic to intermediate level knowledge.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other queries or any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, sure. So yep, that's it for today's session. Nothing more than that. If you have any queries, you can contact me on my number for the technical queries. If you have any queries regarding the the course timings or the fees part, you can contact DURGASOFT directly. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. So yeah, that's it for today's session. I hope to see you soon. I hope you have liked the demo session. If there's any queries, please let DURGASOFT know about it. Sure. Bye bye. Take care. Have a great day.
Okay.